Hello friends, this video on gender part 4 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let us talk about masculine and feminine forms of nouns. As I said that only nouns have gender, right? So let's look at some examples of the masculine and feminine forms of noun. So when brother is the masculine form, so here in this column we will have the masculine form, and in this column we will have the feminine forms. So if brother is the masculine form, the feminine form would be the sister. Bull is masculine, so the feminine form or the female form of bull would be cow. So if you see that cow yields milk while bull doesn't, because the female animal always yields milk, female animal gives birth to the babies, right? And so does the cow, but the bull doesn't. However, the bull has a lot of physical strength, so it is mostly involved in the physical activities. If husband is the masculine form, then wife is the feminine form. Horse is masculine, mare is feminine. So you see there are certain nouns whose masculine and feminine forms are totally different from each other. For example, husband, wife, bull, cow, horse, mare, brother, sister. Like they are no way related to each other. They are two different words which are used for the masculine and feminine forms of the noun. Host, hostess. However, there are some such forms where we add some suffix to the masculine form and get the feminine form. For example, in this case, when you add ESS as the suffix to the masculine form, you get the feminine form. So these kind of examples also exist. For example, tiger, tigress, hero, heroine. Here again, you have added a suffix of INE. With that, you have got the feminine form of the noun. Milkman, milkwoman. In this case, you see, only one part of the word is changed. The man is changed to the woman. And that's how milkman is changed to milkwoman. So these are some examples of masculine and feminine forms of noun. Now you might be interested to know that how exactly do we get the feminine forms of nouns. As I said that in certain cases the masculine and the feminine forms are totally two different words. But in certain cases adding a suffix gives us the feminine form, or making slight changes to the masculine form gives us the feminine form. So let us now see how are the feminine of nouns formed. Now there are many different ways in which feminine forms of nouns are formed. So let us look at some of the ways. So the first way is by adding a syllable to the masculine gender. So basically you add something at the end of the masculine form and you get the feminine form. So what kind of syllable? For example, ESS or INE. So when you add these syllables at the end of the masculine form, you get the feminine form. Let us look at examples. Poet is the masculine form. So how do you get the feminine form? By adding the syllable ESS. So you just add this, and what do you get? You get poetess. So simple, right? You just add a syllable to the masculine gender, you get the feminine gender. If you talk about lion, so how do you get the feminine form? By adding ESS at the end. So you get lioness. If you talk about tiger, so how do you get the feminine form? Now you might say tigeress, but that is not the case. So in this case, because there are certain words where we remove a vowel and then we add this syllable ESS. So in this case, the vowel is E. So we remove E and then we add ESS. So we get tigress. Similarly, if you look at the example of this waiter, so in this case also you have a vowel here, right? So this vowel is removed here and it becomes waitress. So one similarity between these two words is that both of them ends with ER, tiger, waiter. So it changes also in the same way. So whenever you have these kind of words ending with ER, then the E gets removed and then you add a syllable ESS at the end of the masculine word, and that's how you get the feminine gender. Right? Now not only ESS, sometimes you can also add the syllable INE. For example, if the masculine gender is hero, Then the feminine gender is heroine. So you just added ine at the end. That's it, right? So this is one way of forming feminine of nouns, by adding a syllable to the masculine gender. The next way is by adding a word before or after the masculine gender. So here we are talking about a word. So we actually add a word, or we change a word. Let us look at some examples. Let's say if the masculine gender is landlord, so a person who owns the house, right? And if you are living there as a tenant, so that person is your landlord. So what would be the feminine gender of landlord? So in this case, if you look at the entire word landlord, it is made up of two words, landlord. So what we do, the first part remains the same. We just change the later part. So the lord part is changed to lady. So what did we do? We basically added a word after the masculine gender. So landlord became landlady. So we just changed the later half of the word. So first word remained the same. The later part, later half of the word got changed. Let us look at one more example. Let's say salesman. So in this case, what do? The first part remains the same, that is sales would remain the same, but we would add a feminine word after sales, and that is woman. So this becomes salesman, becomes saleswoman. So you see, we are basically adding a new word, or we are basically adding a feminine word to the existing first half of the word, right? So if you have milkman, so in this case, first half would remain the same. However, after that, we would add a feminine form of the noun, which is woman. So here, milkman becomes milkwoman. So this is also one way of forming feminine gender from masculine gender. So whenever you have nouns which are made up of, which have two words within it, like landlord has landlord, salesman has sales plus man, milkman is milk plus man. So whenever you have two such words, one word remains the same, the other word gets changed to the feminine form of the word. Now there is a third way, which is by using a totally different word. As I said, now for such words we are totally clueless. We do not know how do we get the feminine forms. For example, if you talk about husband, what is the feminine form? The feminine form is wife. Now we really do not know how do we form wife from husband. So there is no relation. Basically these are two different words, but they are used for the masculine and feminine forms of the same noun. If you talk about horse, the female horse is called a mare. Again, these are two different words, and you have many such examples. For example, brother and sister. They are two different words again. Now, basically, these are the three different ways by which the feminine forms of nouns are formed. Either by adding a syllable at the end of the masculine gender, or by changing half of the word to the feminine form, or by using a totally different word. So these are the three main ways by which feminines of nouns are formed. So now that we have learned so much about gender, the various categories of gender, so we should also know that how does this knowledge of gender helps us. Now whenever we write or speak English, we often use sentences like this to show possession. For example, my father gave me some money from dash wallet. Now from whose wallet my father gave me money? From his own wallet, right? So here it would be from his wallet. Now how do we know that it will be his and not her? That's because we know that father is masculine gender. So father is male. Therefore words like he, his, him will be used for father. Similarly, if you have to write the peacock's colorful tail helps dash attract partners. Now peacock is male or female? So peacock is again male, because the female of peacock is peahen. Since peacock is male, therefore it would be him, right? So the peacock's colorful tail helps him attract partners, right? So the words like his, him, they are used with the masculine gender. So only when we know whether the noun is masculine and feminine, we will be able to use the correct form of the pronoun. Right? And this is how gender helps, because you will not be able to write English or you will not be able to speak English without using these pronouns, right? So you should know where you need to use which pronoun, and that is where the knowledge of gender helps. Let us look at one more example. The princess along with dash guard entered the hall. So princess is a female, so here it would be her. So princess along with her guard entered the hall. One more example. Cow feeds dash children. So cow is a female. So cow feeds her children. Right? So in this fashion, the knowledge of gender helps us. Now, as an exercise, I would ask you to find out more examples of masculine, feminine, common as well as neuter gender. Also try to look at more examples of nouns and their respective masculine and feminine gender. So that will help you to increase your vocabulary and also increase your knowledge on gender. Because here in this lesson, I have not included all the examples of masculine and feminine gender. I have just explained you the concept, so that now you can go and look at more examples which will help you to gain more knowledge. Practice more, which will help you to gain confidence on the topic. So I hope this lesson would have helped you. See you all in the next lesson.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.